ICE will no longer report the deaths of former detainees that occur within 30 days of their release from federal custody. This policy change coming after more than a dozen people have died in ICE custody so far this year, according to reports reviewed by the I-Team, raising serious questions about the quality of conditions.
We know this is the deadliest period in recent years in federal detention.
18 dead since the start of the year, with that number jumping to 49 dead in ICE custody since the beginning of the second Trump administration. Danielle Burkowski from the MacArthur Justice Center was co-counsel on the federal case to improve conditions at the Broadview ICE processing facility. She calls the change in protocol for reporting ICE deaths extremely troubling.
It tells us that they are also not interested in looking at what they did that could have contributed to someone's death, and more importantly, what they could do to prevent that from happening in the future.
Reports reviewed by the I-Team found many of these deaths occurred after detainees were taken from an ICE facility to a hospital in need of medical care.
That's the standard of you are dying and now you get to go to a hospital. What is happening up until that point for other people? Death is not the only bad thing that can happen to somebody in detention.
Calls to improve conditions in ICE detention facilities have surged across the country, including recently at the Delaney Hall Immigrant Detention Center in New Jersey, where there have been protests and clashes with federal and local law enforcement over the past few weeks.
This seems to be a pattern and practice.
Detention center conditions, including the food served to those detained by ICE, came up at a House committee hearing this week with DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullin.
Given ICE's standards and reports of decaying food confirmed by congressional oversight, would you retract your comments dismissing detainees' concerns about rotten food as a desire for ethnic food? Would you retract those comments?
I didn't say rotten food. I said they wanted ethnic correct food, and I said this isn't a Holiday Inn. We're not providing that.
The government owes a duty of care to the people in its custody. If the government cannot provide the level of care someone needs to live, then they should not be holding people in their custody.
The Department of Homeland Security says this policy change is common sense, saying in part, when an individual is no longer in ICE custody, then ICE will no longer be responsible for monitoring or reviewing deaths that may occur. The agency pledging its commitment to transparency regarding detainee deaths. For the I-Team, Mark Rivera, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.